And hey, everybody, this is Kenneth the K-Rock Klein here. Hope your spring break was great. Mine was too, and so was head coach Janae Shirley's as well. As the last time I think we talked with Coach Shirley on the ETBU Sports and Coaches Show, you were getting ready for your series against Louisiana College, and a lot has happened since then, and we'll recap those right away. You know, Coach Shirley, you've been the head coach of the softball program for over a decade in your career. You've had some great teams over the years, some that went to the College World Series, one that won a national championship. But I'll tell you what, of all the teams, this team really pulled off a little bit of a money ball situation, considering the fact that you started your winning streak 20-0, a 20-game winning streak, the longest winning streak ever. Just kind of talk about, the timing of the players just coming together and putting together that winning streak, something that's really hard to do.
Well, I mean, obviously, winning that many games in a row is something special and unique. And, this group has been really special, I think. They are a talented young group of individuals, but they just really, enjoy being around each other and just love playing hard for each other. And that's something kind of special. And, I think they have something special started, and hopefully they can continue to grow and get better week in and week out.
Definitely, Coach. Just great to see that happen. Although it did end with a split in Texas Lutheran, but that's okay. Always time to start to regroup and get set for your series with Texas Dallas as well. Again, coming in, when you're taking a tough loss like that to industry, does it kind of take the pressure off of knowing that, hey, you can just regroup, refocus, we still can get better?
Well, I think those games came at a great time in our season. The past couple of weekends, we had managed to come out of the series with wins and not really playing our best ball. And so I think, facing Texas Lutheran, who is like a quality team across the board, on the mound and offensively and defensely, it gave us a good test. And, the first game we played well, still did some things that we need to work on and get better on. And that next game just kind of proved how you have to continue to push and fight and get better and be sharp. And, if you don't do the little things right, you can't win against the good teams. And so I think that was a great reminder for us at a pivotal point in our season.
Certainly, Coach. And, you had, in the midst of all that, you had another streak going on. Your starting pitcher, Beatrice Lada, went through a stretch where she gave up 0 runs in 40 consecutive innings. Now, I mean, that's saying a lot, considering the fact that, teams are vulnerable to give up runs at certain points. But for her to go through 40 straight, which, I don't know, it's like 3 to 4 games and starts, maybe 5 as well. I'll have to recheck the stats on that. But just talk about the fact, that she, just how she was able to handle that throughout her time and her starts.
Well, B has been, such a mature athlete coming in as a freshman. She definitely has an understanding of what she's trying to do on the mound, and came in a little bit further ahead than most kids her age do. And so we've definitely been impressed with how she continues to compete, and hopefully we can continue to grow in other areas. And our other pitchers are very talented as well, and they're continuing to learn and grow each week. And so hopefully we continue to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But kudos to her for continuing to give us an opportunity to win every time she's on the mound.
Glad you point out other pitchers as well, because I had been impressed with Presley Cox in her last couple of starts. She's had to overcome, getting runners on base, but she's been able to do a good job of getting runners out in that situation.
Yeah, again, Presley is super talented and, has a very, very high ceiling. And, each week, again, she continues to grow and get better in certain areas. And I think she's somebody that is going to continue to help us on the mound and be a force for us. So we're excited to have, all these kids with the, adding Emily Doremus in that mix and Savannah Buell. Those kids compete for us when they get on the mound. And, with the pitching coach that we have, I think that they'll continue to get better. So.
Of course, you can't always ignore pitching coach Bill Galloway, who always makes his presence felt. Certainly one of the best, if not the best, pitching coach in the country. So in the midst of everything that's happened, you've also included a few new members of your so-called, what is it, the Dinger Club? Or
oh, yeah.
Because you've had some first-time home run hitters as well.
Yeah, a couple of kids that have just been added to that mix. And we have an interesting team this year because we are just super athletic, up and down the lineup and even on the bench. And, we've had a couple of kids off the bench come in and hit home runs for us and, just very versatile. And so, that's something that's been positive for us, but we're just excited to see where these kids continue to grow.
Yeah, certainly. And last question here, Coach. Over the years, ETBU's softball team has had a knack for putting together players that are siblings or sisters to each other. Last year you had Mackenzie Anderson, Jordan Anderson. Now this year it's just Mackenzie Anderson. The Westbrook sisters were there at one point. This year you have another set of sisters as well. But at one point in one game I saw Caitlin Hunter at first base and Cortland Hunter at second base. And not only are they sisters, but they're twins. So I've always had a hard time trying to determine which is which. Aside from the jersey numbers on their shirts, can you tell the difference between the two?
Well, Cortland plays third, not second, and
Okay.
Caitlin plays first. It is difficult to tell them apart, and each day we get better about that. I think SIDs at other places have a difficult time with that as well because we keep getting multiple stats for the same kid in the lineup at multiple times, and that's happened several times this year. But both those young ladies have added to our sister club or whatever, and they're just great kids for our program, and we're excited to have them. They're very, very similar and look very, very much alike, but I am happy to say that I'm getting better at telling them apart. Even with their helmets on, it's a little bit difficult like that, but something unique about them as well is their dad actually played basketball here at ETBU, so they're in essence legacy kids in our program. So
We'll see if I can figure out how to tell them apart aside from the positions and the jersey numbers as well. So, of course, this week you have a great series with UT Dallas. We look forward to covering you there, and you can check out more ETBU softball later on. So we'll see if ETBU can continue their hot start this weekend. We'll have more with head coach Janae Shirley on this show in moments.